TMNT Splintered Fate is the game that made me finally give Apple Arcade a try, and you should too, so let me tell you why. Splintered Fate is what you would get if you mashed Hades and Ninja Turtles together. The true strength of Hades was that it had an amazing story that drew you in and was accented with a very solid gameplay loop even if you hated roguelites. Come in a little closer. Surprisingly, Splintered Fate kind of nails this aspect as the dying rewards you with new plot details that are interesting and well executed. Come in even closer. Splintered Fate gets a lot more right too. First, you have the ability to choose from any of the 4 turtles, but unlike most TMNT games where it's just a color difference, they all behave very differently here, as they should, based on their personality that we've grown to love over the past 30 years. Donatello is intellect-based with high health and quicker utilities. Michelangelo can deal more area damage and taunts enemies to inflict more damage total. Leo damages enemies as he dashes due to him carrying a katana with his high mobility and damage class. And finally, Raphael is just much stronger than the rest of the group and does more critical damage. And if you're wondering about the ranking of the turtles, I would say it goes Mike, Don, Leo, and Raph. Combat is not on the level of Hades in terms of responsiveness, but it's very solid as it requires skill and attention. Dashing is essential to avoid damage, and then you also have 3 different forms of attack on different cooldowns, which constantly has you monitoring the battlefield for your best plan of attack. Similar to the Supergiant smash hit, Splintered Fate is room-based and you get an upgrade after each combat room. There is currency you can find to spend at the shop during each run and plenty of per-run upgrades, as well as permanent unlocks that seem varied, fair, and are drastic enough that keep each run feeling different. Background check, I was part of Turtle Mania back in the late 80s, owning all of the action figures including the Party Wagon, the movie poster that was on my wall, and the Ninja rap cassette being glued into my boombox. I don't claim to be the biggest TMNT fan these days, and after Turtle Mania, I didn't keep up with the franchise like I once did. However, the older that I do get, the more nostalgic I get for the good old days of being a kid, and this makes a lot of the appearances in the game less of a wow moment for me, but this game, you can tell, is loaded with fan service and is clearly made for fans by fans. You shouldn't write this game off just because it's an Apple Arcade exclusive. If you're playing using an Apple TV and your DualSense, you wouldn't know it was an Apple Arcade title. It does lack local co-op, which would have been a great addition, but there is also online co-op. However, I played the game completely solo and loved the experience. Will Splintered Fate come to other platforms? Without a doubt it will, just like many other great Apple Arcade exclusive titles like Grindstone and Mini Motorways, and I can't wait for more people to experience this sublime implementation of the rogue genre into the TMNT universe. I enjoyed Shredder's Revenge from 2022, and I'm likely in the minority here, but I felt like it played it too safe when it could have not only been a faithful tribute to the 90s classics, but also could have incorporated plenty of modern touches. Splintered Fate, on the other hand, takes a popular roguelite genre and infuses that into the TMNT IP with great success, thanks to solid voice acting, nice visuals, challenging combat with depth, and a story that draws you in. Super Evil Megacorp not only created a love letter to Ninja Turtles, but also created the best TMNT game to release in years. And if you aren't on Apple Arcade to experience it, I urge you to at least go for the 1-month trial for this game.